Hello, welcome to TAP TV. This is a newspaper review session where we analyze and dissect trending and catchy headlines every day. My name is Obed Jerry, your host for today, and I won't be doing this alone as usual. I'm here with Mr. Victor Sioku. Welcome, Mr. Victor.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro.
The way the economy is, everybody has to be checking up on each other. And you are shining. It seems like the economy is not getting at
My brother, leave matter. Yesterday, I was in the gathering of brethren yesterday, and it was we were discussing about mental health. Okay, so this is an NGO, and we are all plenty. We're up to 30 persons out there, and we are being asked questions about how we manage our mental health. How do we manage it from time? And my brother, you hear people and their stories.
Exactly.
A meeting that was supposed to last for an hour lasted 3 hours of engagement of people speaking their mind. It was
things they've been going through.
My brother, take care of your mental health.
Exactly.
Take care of your mental health.
It's very necessary because the level at which this economy is, if you take it to heart, you might just run mad.
Well, I'm laughing. It's not a laughing matter. People are going through a lot. People are going through a lot, man.
Exactly. Without wasting much of our time, we move on to the first paper of the day. It's the Daily Sun. The main headline reads, ex-governors, ministers forfeit billions, houses to AFCC. Sub-story under this headline reads, recovered property in choice areas in Lagos, Cross River, Abuja. Details of the story is found on page 6 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Obi questions Tinubu over certificates. This same headline of certificates and all that, certificate forgery and all that. Sub-story under this headline reads, says debates worsen Nigeria's image. Igbo APC group urges him to stop overheating polity. BBC report exonerates president. Details of this story is found on page 27 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Enugu government, coal mining firm, reach 1 billion naira settlement. Details is found on page 6 of the Daily Sun newspaper. FG put subsidy payment in 2022 at 4 trillion naira. Details is found on page 2 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Deaths from diphtheria rises to 600. More of the story is found on page 26 of the Daily Sun newspaper. So, Mr. Victor, I would like us to share on this main headline that catches my attention. Israel-Hamas war spread to Lebanon. You know, Lebanon is not involved in this situation, but since it's around their territory, and they say when one hand touches oil, the other hand gets stained. What's your view on that? Okay,
it reminds me of how the Second World War got started, when other persons now had their interest. Okay, so this time around, you ask the question, why is Lebanon part of this? Lebanon is bordering, Israel is bordering around by the side of Lebanon from the north. So, and you know that Lebanon has their Hezbollah is in Lebanon, and that is a very big military force, or will I say, some persons will call them terrorists, but let me keep it that simple. A military force that is located in Lebanon. And if you can remember, back in the days, in the 2000s, early 2000s, the Israel and Hezbollah had a war, okay, and they were supported by the Iranians. So what then happened this time around? Hezbollah has already told them that if they see Israel forces around their territory, they will strike, and that was what happened, we presume. And so some persons died. The war happened. A little bit of the war happened around, yeah, and some persons died from the Israeli Defense Forces. News coming from the Israeli Defense Forces. But then you now ask, what if this war escalates further to Hezbollah? I do not want that, because Hezbollah is a big force. Remember, like I said, they are based in Lebanon, and they are being backed by the Iranians.
And they are powerful.
And they are powerful. So even they were really, in fact, okay, what is even their title? What are they known for? Hezbollah stands, if I'm not mistaken, God's force. More like, you know, these things have a religious connotation around them all. And it's something I do not want to happen. Even Donald Trump even made a statement on Wednesday regarding to this fight with Israel and Lebanon, or Hezbollah, and he called Hezbollah as being smart. But you know, Donald Trump is controversial. Yes, USA remains ally with the Israel, but then he made that statement, and it was also interpreted in many forms. Some persons were like saying, "Oh, how can Donald Trump be sponsoring, be speaking for Hezbollah? How can he be talking good about Hezbollah, calling them smart?" Okay, but then he also went further to say that the US were the ones, or the Israeli government were the ones that gave them an opportunity, because there was this debate about how Hezbollah could come into this war, and Donald Trump is saying that that information couldn't have been released by the Israeli or the IDF, that's the Israeli Defense Force, meaning that he's now calling Hezbollah smart for getting information from what this person said. But you know, this might just be
maybe misinterpretation,
or maybe him talking and making himself more relevant, or just putting himself out there. Okay, yes, he's having his own fight with the DeSantis, that's the governor of Florida, whom they are fighting head on. Mind you, the US has their election next year, who they are fighting head on, who picks up the tickets from the Republican Party. But that is by the corner. Then you ask, my question is, the forces that, if Hezbollah is fighting from the north, and you already have Hamas that you are dealing with, it might be so big for Israel. But let's also underrate the Israeli army. If you go head to head with the Hamas and Israeli, you see the numbers are too many. The Israeli has about 168,000 personnel on ground, and have about 465,000 reserves. Yes, they've called up on those reserves to come and join. But then, in terms of number, we are speaking about numbers, but in terms of number, Hamas has about 30,000. Same amount of number with Hezbollah. So talking about 60,000. And you know, these people, the thing, yes, one might say, okay, they are not as trained as the Israeli forces, but then they can cause so much damage. And with the way this war is going, there is this high possibility that the Israeli forces will invade the Gaza. They will invade to fish out. With the way it's going, just like when the Russians had the opportunity, I'll call the opportunity to strike Ukraine, you find out that they went in, but it was just the US coming to support the Ukraine, made them to repel them. But in this case, who will now support Gaza? Okay, it could not be Hezbollah, and that the war might just elongate. Yes, I do not also see this war ending immediately. Currently as we are speaking, the Blinken, the US foreign minister, has gone to see Netanyahu, that's the prime minister of Israel, and I see it as a war that is not going to end anytime soon. And if you, like we are talking about the personnel or the strength of Israel, yes, they have those arsenals, they have those military apparatus and equipment. But then, the difficult part of this war is that Hamas, the kind of rockets that they are using, yes, these guys have Israel, they have rocket repellers that can repel those rockets that these guys are sending in. But if you now ask the question, you are sending in a repeller against a rocket that is so cheap that these guys are using. So how will you be able to
intercept?
No, not they can intercept, but now how do you sustain it? Because one of these repellants we are talking about is about $100,000
compared to
over cheap rockets.
Afford 1 million of it.
Are you getting me? So it's a difficult war. Yes, we know that the Israel have in the world, in the world of for Nigerians, we see Israel as very powerful, and very powerful. We know about that, but then you cannot reduce the fact that they will still spend. And mind you, the Americans that you are seeing, America is tired of spending money on wars. Okay, yes, and if you also compare, sorry, I'm spending so much time here, but I'll end here. But if you also compare the amount of monies that these guys spend in their budget, you just be like, come on, these guys also prepared for things like this. And mind you, Israel has been fighting for a long period of time.
Steady fighting.
Okay, so these guys spend about 25 to 30 billion dollars per year in their military
and weapons and all that.
Yes, we are talking about the entire budget of Nigerian budget. The Nigerian budget that we are crying subsidy, do this one, do this. Oh, they remove subsidy, they did not remove subsidy.
Combination of
sorry, I'm making this funny. The money that Israel spends per annum on their military, okay, is higher than the Nigerian budget, and we are crying of poverty and crying of palliatives. My brother, let me leave you there. But oh my god. So let's see how it goes. Personally, I want the war to end, but do I see the war ending as quickly as possible? The answer is no.
But Lebanon, as a country, do you think they have any other country that they listen to, that they heed advice, that they get advice from? Okay, if they say don't indulge in these plans that you have already, would they heed to that instruction? Or
mind you, Lebanon is divided. Hezbollah is in southern Lebanon, no two ways about that. But they are being funded not by Lebanese government. Too. They are being funded from Iranian government. Okay? Mind you, even the war of Syria, the war that happened in Syria, that's 2011 now, during the Middle East uprising, the war that happened in Syria, it was, if not that, still this Israel, and that is where more issues will just will come out. Remember that that top military man, what was his name? Soleimani. Help me with. Yes, that's so the Soleman. Please. That man was so powerful that who eventually helped the US to kill him. It was the Israel IDF, the Israel Defense Forces. Because they are intelligent, you cannot take that away from the Israeli army. They are very, very intelligent. So they were the ones that found out where he was, planned the execution,
and carried it out.
They did not carry it out. Okay. And that is also an issue for Donald Trump, because Donald Trump was president as at that time. Because when they wanted to carry out that the strike, the Israeli Defense Forces pulled out, and Donald Trump is not finding it funny till date.
Okay, they pulled out so that it doesn't look like they
No, I don't know which disagreement. You know, we are not privy to all this information.
Exactly.
We can only get what they feed us with. Yes. So, but then there's no how that Iranians are not angry. Because that man, I don't know how to rate him. He was the war hero. Yes, they have their own supreme leader, but that army general was worshipped in Iran. But what then happened? He took the intelligence of the Israeli army. Okay, then the US perfected it. And you know what happened in a situation like this? Iranians will not be happy. Iranians might be, not entire Iranians, but yes, their government will not be happy. And they've even put out a statement that Israel should know their boundaries. Okay, so but let's keep it that way. I just say, me repeating myself, I just hope it stops.
Exactly.
It stops. But is it stopping anytime soon? Yes, I know, because the Israel, this is why am I talking too much now? This is for the first time in 50 years that Israel is suffering this kind of magnitude of death or attack by any country. And there's no how that Israel that we know, and Netanyahu will not want to make a statement.
Exactly.
He wants to make a statement. And for the fact that even the opposition party that were calling for him to come and join forces with them, and he refused. Now he has called those opposition to come and join forces with them so that they will go hard.
And go hard.
Let me stop there. Thank you.
It is just that this war of 18 doesn't favor anybody, regardless of the amount being spent, the weapon being used. It affects the economy, and somehow, different countries at large have been affected. So the thing is, even if we know that this war is not ending anytime soon, they still have to minimize it and find a way to end it.